Winter is symbolic of death, of stillness. It's rest. There's a certain peace that exists within winter, especially when it snows, although there is no snow on the ground right now. So we're here at the Labyrinth at St. John's. This labyrinth is in a cemetery that stems all the way back to the mid-1700s, actually, an old German-American cemetery. We've been to this labyrinth in the summer, in the autumn, and now we're here in the dead of winter, albeit a little dry. Labyrinths are not the same as mazes. Mazes confound and confuse. They're puzzles. You have to figure which way to get out of a maze. And there's numerous dead ends to confuse you. But a labyrinth, there is one way in, and that same way in is the same way out. The center of the labyrinth reminds me of a womb. The center, see it straight ahead, that center reminds me of the womb, of the dark spaciousness of a mother's womb, albeit dry. The way into the labyrinth, it's the birth canal. The way out is also the birth canal. Now, of course, with the labyrinth, it takes more time. It's not a straight path. But in a way, it's sort of like when a woman is in labor and she has to push and labor and push and contraction. The baby generally 9 times out of 10 doesn't just plop right out. It takes some work. The labyrinth requires you to walk steady and slowly, to watch where you're going. For me, the labyrinth represents that journey into that center space within you. Wintertime is symbolic of that journey, of quietness, of solitude, of rest. How often do you take time to rest? Take time to sit in silence, to sit in peace. So I went for a short walk, and I'm going to continue my walk, and I stopped by the local cemetery to record the labyrinth, to remind myself to always take time to go within. It's not always easy finding that path within, but once you set out on it, it is very rewarding. So I show you the local labyrinth today, just to remind you to please take time to visit your center within. And once you get to the middle of your labyrinth, the middle of yourself, your center within, you'll find that it is a refuge from all sorts of distractions, all sorts of negativity, and even positive stuff can be distraction. Anything that causes you to look outside of yourself for the answers is a distraction. So this is just a PSA to remind you, don't take shortcuts. Take time to travel within to your inner labyrinth. Okay? And something else that's really cool to do, even if there's no local labyrinths around you to physically traverse, get out a nice big sheet of paper and practice drawing a labyrinth. And I don't mean all the outer walls, but just a path, tracing it on a piece of paper and going down all the paths till you lead to the center. And then, of course, flesh it out if you want. So I wish you peace and great bliss, and enjoy journeying into your inner labyrinth.